"Come on," said Lucy. "I'm off to the library. Anyone want to come? We've got stories to write." They eventually followed her. The library was one of the few places to get peace and quiet. It was hard to concentrate with noise everywhere, unless of course the librarian made an appearance. They all sat together scribbling. Tom and James worked on their poems, and Anna and Lucy wrote short stories. Tom and James were in a kind of competition to see who could write the most heroic and dazzling poem. Tom found a rhyming dictionary and he flicked through it. He wrote a list of all the obvious rhymes. "See if you can find a rhyme for orange," said James with a smile. It was rare for them to be so enthusiastic about homework, but it was good fun. Tom read the beginning of his poem, which was basically a list of unconnected rhymes with a few words in between. Everyone roared with laughter, and they decided to have a break and play tennis. Boys versus girls. At first they practiced for fun, and then things got more serious. Tom was hitting the ball a little too enthusiastically. The girls were quite fragile and gave as good as they got. James was covered in sweat and not looking too happy, as he only played for fun. Before they knew what was happening, the girls were winning, and 2-0. "Right then," said James cockily, "let's put some effort into this." Unfortunately, he and Tom were both dog-tired and had worn each other out, showing off in the first game. "This is too easy," shouted Anne with a giggle. She spread the ball into each and every corner with ease. At the end of the game, everyone lay in the grass exhausted. Tom and James were covered in sweat, but the girls looked annoyingly relaxed. "I need a bed to lay on," said Tom. "Me too," said James, trying to make light of the situation. They all walked back to the school and to their dormitories, feeling tired but fit. The next chapter. Tom and James jumped onto their bunks and were instantly asleep. James dreamed he was floating on top of the ocean. He was gently bobbing, but he didn't feel cold or wet. It felt like he was laying on a translucent trampoline. He could see the multitudes of fishes swimming below, and suddenly a black cat bobbed up with a goldfish in its paw. This was definitely a strange dream. Tiny bubbles emanated from the fish's mouth and then popped to the surface to become words. Tom was rolling about and kicking at the blankets in his bed. The covers jumped up and down. James woke from his uneventful dream. He shook Tom on the shoulder. He was still in a deep, strange sleep. By now the cat in his dream was showing pointy teeth and biting the heads off the fishes one by one, and smiling as it did so. Sweat was running down Tom's face and he was moaning loudly. James filled a cup of water and poured it on his head, as he could not stand the noise much longer. Tom woke up coughing and spluttering. It took him a while to realize he wasn't in the sea. "Bloody hell, why'd you do that? You're making so much noise," he said. "I had to," he said defensively. "I had such a strange dream." "I could tell," said James, shaking his head. They were both so restless that they decided to go for a midnight stroll. It was too late to wake the girls, so they set off alone. It was a full moon, and the hooting of an owl set the scene. They tried to be quiet, but their feet were crunching on the autumn leaves and their breath hung in the air like cobwebs. "Well, this is great," said James sulkily. "It's cool," said Tom. "Let's have a look round." He had a backpack with him with a torch inside, and he decided to use it. Hope you enjoyed this chapter. Please submit.